Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Witchbrook Oracle, your go-to source for all things in the world of Witchbrook. This is issue number 2, and to those that checked out our first issue, doing a read-through of this article, going through and dissecting the little nuances of what we can come to expect in the world of Witchbrook, thank you so much. It seemed like enough of you liked it and wanted to see us do a read-through of issue number 2, and so here we are. I'm really excited to jump in to see what the latest news is in the world of Witchbrook. Before we begin, guys, if you enjoyed the content, dropping a like is a great free way to help and support the channel. Let me know in the comment section, should we continue to do this as a series, or what are your thoughts? I would love to know any sort of feedback you might have for us. And with all that to the side, let's get into the article. This week in the Witchbrook Oracle, Bursting in Blooms Annual Tulip Festival returns. I gotta say, I just love the little images that come with this. I mean, as you can see, I feel like this is giving us a little bit of a hint at what we can come to expect when the game fully launches. And a tulip festival sounds like something that could be right up our alley. Now, the article is by Ellie Ivers and says, if you've been noticing tulips sneaking into shop windows, classrooms, and somehow your own personal belongings, it's not just you. Mossport Spring Festival is almost here. Time to the day when Meadowlark Farm's tulip fields reach full bloom. This festival is one of the biggest highlights of the season, drawing in students and locals for a day of food, festivals, and competitive trinket shopping. Dobro's pop-up food truck will be back with their signature pastries, and festival stalls will be stocked with artisan seasonal goods. But the biggest event of the day, the Mini Windmill Souvenir Showdown, where once again students battle it out for the most coveted colors, and the pastel shades will be the first to go. Now, I love that. Imagine if this is actually an event. We can get items from Dobro's that might be exclusive, maybe exclusive pastries that give us certain buffs that we can use, you know, in the classroom or out and about. And I don't know if combat is a thing that's going to be in this game. We actually get to put our magical, you know, prowess to the test. But if it is, this could actually be a great way, you know, visiting Dobro's every week could be a way in which we get, you know, potentially good seasonal buffs, items, and things that you can't get anywhere else, as well as the artisanal seasonal goods that we can get our hands on, and potentially pastel shades, pastel windmills that maybe we can use to decorate, you know, our home or potentially our character. More than that, though, this festival is one of those rare events where just about the entire student body comes together. It's the perfect excuse to spend time with your coven and make memories with the people who make life at Witchbrook feel more like home. Now, when it mentions coven here, obviously my mind, and I'm sure yours as well, goes to a variety of different spaces. You know, I think of factions that, you know, like I've seen in the likes of other games. I also think about the idea to potentially align yourself with a potential group or house or class, similarly to the likes of something like Harry Potter, right? You know, you have the Hufflepuffs, you have Slytherin, you've got all these different factions and these different classes that you can, you know, kind of choose to align yourself with in the game. And it was one of my favorite aspects of Hogwarts Legacy. And so looking at this game and the idea that you can spend time with your coven makes me wonder if there's going to be a series of groups that have very different identities, different styles, different, you know, I guess purposes and, you know, kind of motivations, you know, things that they kind of prioritize, you know, where you know, like similarly to like how we had in Hogwarts when, you know, there were specific personality types that went to Gryffindor and people who valued certain things. Maybe you valued books and things like that. You would go to something like, you know, Hufflepuff or even Ravenclaw. And so if there is like faction choosing and the ability to choose a faction, I think that's going to be a really fun and potentially cozy way to, you know, create a sense of community for players within the game. And if you're feeling generous, tulips make the perfect gift, whether you're looking for a token of friendship or something a little more meaningful. And hey, if words fail you, flowers have been doing the talking for centuries. And obviously we see here, you know, I think tulips, and I instantly think of the time that I spent in Stardew Valley collecting daffodils and dandelions and different flowers, fairy roses, and things that I could give to villagers to potentially boost my friendship with them. The article continues on to say that the festival runs all day on the 20th of spring, right between campus and Mossport. If you're worried about getting lost, just look for the giant windmill or hop on a bus. It stops right in front of the farm, so no excuses. Don't miss it. It only happens once a year. And so it would seem here that this article might actually be highlighting one of the premier events that we'll get to experience in spring. And obviously, as the articles have started, I believe in the springtime. Actually, the last article, issue 1, might have been a summer article, but I'm assuming that we start the game off in spring. And this tulip festival that drops on the 20th of spring is going to be potentially, I would assume, maybe one of the first events that we actually get to partake in the game. And then we get a chance to meet the editor. Now, I'm assuming this is Ellie Ivers. If you're holding this in your hands, congratulations. You've been in your possession the first edition of the Witchbrook Oracle in, well, longer than I'd like to admit. It's been a while since the last issue, but I like to think that this just means we're returning at the perfect time. It's a fresh start for a fresh season. Or if we haven't met yet, I'm Ellie Ivers, post-grad student, part-time school shop cashier. Yes, that's me stacking witch hats with expert precision and occasional tutor. But now I'll also be the guy standing in the Mossport post office, feeding coins into the photocopier to make sure that paper reaches your hands. All right, so I think I've been saying Ellie Ivers, and I think it's Eli. I think that makes a lot more sense. I'm thrilled to dust off the inkwells and serve as the Oracle's new editor-in-chief. If you've got something to say, a story to tell, or just like the idea of poking around for interesting leads, let's talk. The Oracle is back, and it's only going to be better from here. This has me really excited, and I wonder if Eli Ivers is actually going to be one of the characters that we'll actually get to interact with in the game. If he's going to be, you know, standing at the Mossport post office, and he's going to be someone that maybe gives us our quest, maybe someone in which we actually get mail from. And so when I think of something like Stardew, which, you know, had kind of the, you know, a way of in which we got mail via our own mailbox on our farm, or I think of, you know, games like, you know, Spiritfarer, right? In which you have a mailbox on your boat. And that was kind of the source in which you got letters and things like that that helped advance the story and push you along. I think something like this, I actually feel like could be a really good way in which we continue to get like different news and different updates from the game. And Eli potentially could be our go-to source for getting that information. And so I'm actually really excited about that, as well as all of this. I mean, the Tulip Festival, I mean, it sounds really exciting. You know, an opportunity to have sort of a night market situation in which different vendors from Dobros to other shops come and give us an opportunity to spend our hard-earned money on certain things. It sounds like this is a world, you know, or at least what I'm seeing, the world within Witchbrook very much seems like something that is breathing and teeming with life and has so much to offer. And I cannot wait to fully invest myself and get involved in the characters and the culture and the lore and everything in between. Now, scrolling back up, I have a broom, but I'm still a loser. Everywhere I look, students are sweeping through campus on their brooms like it's second nature. Some of you are drifting corners, casually flipping your hair, and landing without having to apologize to anyone. Once, I even saw someone reading a book while flying 20 meters high. You're all so cool. Meanwhile, I require a 10-second breathing exercise just to take off. And even then, I wobble, overcorrect, ended up nearly decapitating several students in the courtyard. What do I need to do? Do I need less fear? More core strength? Better shoes? Someone please give me your tips. Help me before I just walk everywhere instead. Sincerely, Lorena P. And this is something that we saw in the first article that I really enjoyed, this kind of like help advice column that we can get. The first one I think was came directly from Dobros themselves, and I thought that was a really interesting one. And it seems like this one might just be kind of a potential submission from a reader who is seeking advice on how to better use their broom without, you know, falling or potentially decapitating several students. And so it's really cool. I love seeing stuff like this. Next up, we have Respect Your Eldritch. Every spring, some bright-eyed student walks into arcane arts classroom, looks up behind the fireplace, the great unshakable monument to powers beyond comprehension, and thinks it could use a flower crown to look cute. A flower crown on the head of something that doesn't feel kindness, that doesn't acknowledge time as we do, that doesn't need to be made festive. And every spring, a petal falls into the flames. So every spring, I have to sit in rituals class and feel, as we all do, the moment it turns into gaze ever so slightly, watching it from just beyond the edge of perception. I beg you, respect what you don't understand. The fireplace doesn't need floral decorations, it needs reverence. Annoyed and possibly cursed. I love how people give themselves like code names as well. I mean, obviously we have Lorena here, but this one obviously did not want to be identified. And then, oh, look at this. We have Mossport Postal Service calling all witch students, 3 Marble Road. We're looking for 5 flyers to join the Mossport Postal Service team. Could this be you? Flexible hours available to work around your studies. So this potentially looks very clear to be kind of a hint of how we're going, one of the main ways in which we will potentially be able to earn money. Now, I always predicted after we saw that first trailer for this game, I predicted that one of the ways we'll be able to earn money would be working at the flower shop, which would be really cool. But another way in which we'll be able to potentially earn money might be delivering messages and letters to the various, Witchbrook students across town and on campus. And that could be ways in which we earn money as well. And I'm actually all for that. That sounds really exciting. I don't know how much staying power that's going to have to be going and doing kind of these fetch quests where you have to go deliver things and then maybe you come back and you receive your payment and then you go deliver something else. I don't know how long that would actually, have staying power and have replayability, but I mean, I'm open to it. And that sounds something, it sounds like something that I think would be a lot of fun and a great way in which you could kind of make money so that you can buy more crops or buy upgrades maybe for, your character or whatever other components and gameplay mechanics exist within this game. Lastly, we have this season's hat styles. Wide brims are in, but at what cost? One student says it's fashion. Another says, I can't see anything in class. On to page 3. Next up, we have ranking the best snacks in Mossport. From olives pastries to late night vending machine runs, what's actually worth your money? And then allergy season survival. Brew your own cure. Learn which herbs help, hint it's peppermint, and which will just make you sneeze harder on page 7. And in the next issue, spring into action. Use your magic to give back to your community. So all in all, there you have it. Another episode in the world of Witchbrook in which we've learned about potential opportunities for work that we might be able to participate in. One of the upcoming events, that being the Tulip Festival that we'll potentially be able to partake in, and the many struggles that some of the Witchbrook students and staff seem to have. And I think, like I said before, all of this just continues to provide us with a little bit more attention to detail and a little bit more insight into the world of Witchbrook, the characters, the lore, the environment, all that good stuff. And so I'm very much excited to continue to learn more about these characters, learn more about the world, and sharing that with you. And so if you guys did enjoy this video, or if there's something that stood out to you that I didn't mention, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you excited for the Tulip Festival? It starts on April the 20th. I'm hoping that all that we're reading are just glimpses into the world of Witchbrook and all the things that we'll get to participate in. At least that's what it's very much seeming like. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about the possibility and all the other events that we're going to get to learn about in the world of Witchbrook. I hope that in the next issue, we learn about maybe going into the classroom. Maybe we learn about some of our professors, some of the things that we'll be able to do outside of the world of Mossport and actually in the classroom, because it seems like those will be the two main areas that we'll get to explore, both the classroom, Mossport, and I would assume that maybe there's other areas that we haven't learned anything about. But so far, I continue to be wildly impressed by this game and super excited. And every issue that we read in the Witchbrook Oracle brings us closer and closer to the world, to the characters, and I hope that you enjoy it. So if you enjoyed this cozy read through, chat, thank you so much for the world. If you enjoyed this cozy read through, consider dropping some support on the channel by dropping a like on this video. Comment down below what's something that stood out to you. Do you enjoy this kind of content? Should we read our Oracle 3 when it comes out? And of course, if you enjoy cozy commentary for your viewing pleasure, you're already in the right place. Hit that sub button. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.